Joining us in studio is Daniel Freitas, who currently sits on the Board of Public Works in the town of Fairhaven. Good morning. Great to have you in studio, Dan.
Thank you for having me, Phil.
You betcha. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know so many people in town do know you because of you being a resident here and a public servant and, you know, dedicated to the town, but there may be some folks who don't know you. So for their benefit, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Dan Freitas. I've been a lifelong resident. I'm 46 years old. I'm currently employed over at the Massachusetts Maritime Academy. I've worked there for several years. I worked for the town for about 20 years. I've served on the Board of Public Works now. This is my second term, and throughout the years I've been on many boards and worked within town.
Mm-hmm. And what has inspired you to now seek out this position? You're a candidate for the Select Board.
Yes, my daughters are getting a little older, one of them, and it's about time I thought to myself I should get involved. I watch the meetings, I go to the meetings, and I said, it's really time for a change over there.
What kind of change, Dan?
Well, I think, the first thing I always noticed was the meetings were running really late, and they were taking up a lot of time, and they were, when you're sitting there at 11:30 at night trying to get an issue in that was scheduled for 8:15, it gets a little frustrating. So I definitely wanted people to be heard on their issues. So I figured that, if I get in there, we could at least try to cut it off by 10 o'clock. And if we had to schedule another meeting, then we schedule another meeting, and so that people can be heard.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think this happened, and what can you do now to, correct that?
Well, I think it happened because there was a lot of issues that just kept coming up on the agenda. The same issues. You would go there and you'd hear the same issues 4, 5, 6 times, when in all likelihood it could have been handled in 1 or 2 meetings. And then you'd see town council sitting there, and town council was making a lot of the just making the discussion. And I think we should use town council less and use the selectmen more to make the decisions. It's a decision-making board. You're running a multi-million-dollar business is what it comes down to, but it's a business of people. You got the 16,000 residents that you're elected to answer for. That's who basically gives you your marching orders.
Right. You have a new form of government. Your thoughts on the new form, Dan?
I think the new form is excellent. The town needs a day-to-day somebody to do the day-to-day operations. I think it's a great thing. From all indications, from what I've heard, Mr. Reese is doing a good job. There are parts of the contract that was given to him that I just can't agree with.
Such as?
Well, he started off with $135,000. Now this is public knowledge, and he's looking for, as a matter of fact, right around the corner, I believe April 1st, is they have to reopen the contract for wage negotiations. There's also a couple things in there about deferred compensation, and I'm hearing that there's might be some money looking into for a vehicle. I think there's some things in there that I can't agree with. Want to get some time on in the town. We haven't even got it past our first town meeting yet, and we're still at the point where we're looking to give them a raise. We're looking. I just read that we're up in the town council by $40,000. Okay, from $130,000 to $170,000, and that $40,000 is going to be used so that we bring in a lawyer to do wage negotiations with the union. Now I'm on the Board of Public Works. And we're separate from Town Hall. We're doing it for free. The commissioners who don't get paid, I don't get paid, none of the commissioners, we don't get paid. We come in on our time, and we sit there and we negotiate with the unions. We're involved in one right now, we've got a second one coming up. I think if you're getting paid, if you're getting the $135,000 and you're a selectman, that you should do the same thing. It's part of your job. But now we're outsourcing it to somebody else. I don't think that's fiscally responsible. I think we try to keep the costs down, not have them go up. And that's what I'm seeing here. And negotiations can be tough, but it's something that you got to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, Dan Freitas, who is running for the position of Board of Selectmen in Fairhaven, is our special guest this morning. And you were just mentioning the new executive in town. Should he or should he not have, let's say, a publicly funded vehicle?
Oh, I think that, yes, I think that he should have a vehicle from the town. He is the town executive. I mean, that's his job. We should, and the old town, the executive secretary, he had a vehicle. What I'm hearing that he's asking for is money with no vehicle. So he'll use his own vehicle. So there's going to be a certain amount of money that's put towards him. I'm hearing the numbers more like $450 a month. And then he would use his own vehicle. Well, I have questions about that, because if you're in your own vehicle and you get into an accident, is it the town's problem? Is it his problem? So I think more along the lines, we should have our public officials in a public car so that people could, identify them if they have a question. At the end of the day, if you work for the town, you're a public servant, and I think a lot of people seem to forget that.
What are some of the most important issues that you see as a candidate?
Well, right now, we really do in this, in the country, but, we're not immune to it. We have an opioid crisis. It's really bad, just in the paper the other day, the hospital said that there was 469 overdose calls last year. Fairhaven's overdose calls have risen 72% over the year. That means our police officers, our firefighters, our first responders are working harder every day to stop the flow that comes with it, everything that comes with that, the crime, everything that goes along with it. I think we need to strengthen the fire and police. I think that $40,000 that we're using to go towards negotiating contracts could be used to go towards a police officer or a firefighter. We need that. We need to strengthen them. We need to give them every tool in the box that we can give them to fight this. And it is a fight. And there are kids out there, it was in the paper not that long ago that there was a 14-year-old kid who overdosed. 14, that's junior high school. We don't want to lose these kids to this. So we need everything that we can in our power to make sure that this crisis, we're up on top of it.
Dan, every community is faced with this problem. It's not, a river that separates this problem from other communities. Is it wise that a regional approach, meaning, folks from New Bedford, Fairhaven, Marion, all the outlying areas from Dartmouth and Acushnet all get together and attack this as a regional problem?
Yes. I had a great conversation with Kerry Winterson. He's the Ward 5 counselor over in New Bedford, and we spoke for about 45 minutes. And, they do have a regionalization thing going on right now with that. And we did have somebody from the town. It was Mark Reese did go to the meeting that they held. None of our selectmen went, and I think that's important that we have a politician, I guess you say, there. Somebody that can make policy should be there. I'm all for going for this. I think this is something that absolutely needs to be done. I've known people who have passed away from this. I know lives that this has touched. So this is something that I take personal, and I think that I'd be happy to work over there with those guys. And a regional approach is better because everybody potentially gets on the same page and works towards this. Because it's not a New Bedford problem. It's not a Fairhaven problem. It's everybody's problem. It's not localized to one area. It's everywhere right now.
Dan, the topic of empty buildings, especially the school buildings, has been one that has been topical. What are your thoughts on that issue?
We have to do something about these emptying buildings. They're every day. We just lost Sears in town. We need to get out there and stop making either phone calls or put a packet together and send it out to these companies and introduce ourselves to these companies and have these people come down and meet the people of Fairhaven, come look at the properties, come look at what we have to offer, and that puts us out there. If we sit in an office and talk about this, nothing is going to get done. I work up in Bourne. Buzzards Bay. And I've seen what's going on over there in Wareham. They're revitalizing up there. They got a lot of businesses coming in. You got home goods coming in. You know, those places, no offense to Wareham, should be coming here to Fairhaven. So I really think we need to get really proactive and get out there and get those businesses in town.
Before I ask you to sum up your thoughts, what else would you like to add as a candidate for the select board that you think is very important for our voters to know?
Well, you know, we're going to be voting on Monday. It's been a long road. It's been about 6 months, 7 months that I've been working on this. I believe I'm the best candidate that's out there. You know, I asked for your vote on April 4th. I would appreciate it. But the people are going to decide on Monday, either which way, who's going to be their next selectman. I believe I can do the best job for the town. I care deeply for this town, and I always have.
And finally, in summation, what really inspired you to take a look at this position and say, you know, 2016 is the year that Dan Freitas is going to run for it?
Well, you know, I've always wanted to do this. My father was a selectman at one point. He taught us all about, you know, public service. He was, you know, always involved in something. You know, he was the one that said, if you're just going to complain about it and do nothing about it, then just, you know, don't bother complaining to him. Get involved, get it done. My daughter's getting older. One's driving now. The other one's, you know, 13. They don't want to hang around with Dad anymore. You know, so the time has come, I think, for me to get more involved in the town, and I'd love to be the next selectman.
All the very best. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
And thank you for having me.
You betcha. Dan Freitas, candidate for Select Board, Town of Fairhaven. Remember, your election coming up April the 4th. Go out and vote.